Hello, everyone, and welcome to Life Coaching Access, your daily access with professional certified life coaches brought to you by Life Coach Philippines. And Life Coach Philippines is our community of professional life coaches certified by the Global Institute for Coaches and Entrepreneurs, a bona fide institute for mental health that is based in Dallas, Texas, USA. And Life Coaching Access is our service to the community, and we aim to help individuals experience the process of transformation through the platform of life coaching. So if you want to know more about our international coaching classes and services, please connect with Coach Rizal through 0917 586 1661 for assistance. And we are soon having our certification classes this coming January 23 and 30. That is for batch 48. And of course, for February 19 and 25, that's going to be for batch 49. So if you are interested to be a change agent like us, just connect with Coach Rizel or message Life Coach PH to know more about how you can be an international certified life coach. And also, since we are now a bona fide mental health service provider, you can also get certified for our mental health certification program, which is on February 27, 28, and March 5. So if you're a mental health advocate and you want to be more responsible to help other people who are sufferers or those who need support in caring for people with mental health conditions, then do join us. We welcome you as part of our community or our tribe. So join our classes. Just contact Coach Rizal at 0917 586 1661. And I am Coach Tin de Joya. Your I am I I am Coach Tin de Joya, and you are watching Relationlift, Rebuilding from Broken Trust and Boundaries. And your access with me is every Monday at 3 p.m. So for those of you, if for those of you watching, our topic for today is saying yes and saying no. What does it mean? It means how does boundaries help our relationship be sane? Um, if you think about it, there is a lot of misconception about what boundaries are and what it can do for our relationships. And oftentimes we feel that boundaries are unnecessary because our partner is supposed to already know and act on our needs and wants. But unfortunately, it's not always. So um, in reality, we all need healthy relationship, and all healthy relationship have boundaries. So our relationship cannot be healthy unless both partners communicate their boundaries clearly and the other person respects them. So if you are someone who is having difficulty with boundaries, please also please tag your friends or your loved ones in the comment below and invite them to join our conversation. You may also share this FB Live to your timelines and FB groups and pages so that we can reach more people and help transform lives. So, if this is the first time that you are seeing me, I am Coach Tin de Joya. I am a certified life coach and mental health coach by the Global Institute for Coaches and Entrepreneurs based in Dallas, Texas, USA. And I am a mom of two teenagers, and I am also a mental health advocate. I was previously an HR practitioner for more than a decade in one of the largest BPO in the country until I decided to go full time in life coaching. And I am helping 1 million women who are fighting to keep the relationship to be whole, to love, and to create a space where the family thrives. It starts with having the confidence to think to express and take action to be who they want to be in the relationship and be a supporter of their husband in building a family that thrives. So if you are that someone, do join me in my movement. That is my advocacy. Connect with me and let's start building a community where the family thrives. You support me and I will also be supporting the advocacy that you have. So let's start talking. Connect with me. For today, I want it to be intentional. So as you can see, it's a bag. We use the hashtag pack my bag moment. Pack my bag means that whenever you are attending a seminar, a workshop, or a training, there's something that you get from the speaker. It's something that connects with you. It is something that you find true or you use it or yung sinabi mo sa sarili mo na, sulit na yung bayad ko kasi nakuha ko na yung gusto ko. So, that is what we call pack my bag moment. So, if you have encountered something or you connected with a statement or something in what I am gonna talk to you about today, then do post it in your timeline, share it so that we can bless others. Baka may nangangailangan dyan na marinig lang yung konting inspiration na yon for them to be able to get better in the relationship. Then let us bless them, let us help them. Use hashtag pack my bag moment and hashtag life coaching access so that we can search for your posts. We can also comment and share it as well. So for today, we're gonna be talking about saying yes and saying no. How boundaries can keep your relationship sane. Setting boundaries is really an important part of establishing one's identity and is a crucial aspect of mental health and well-being. Hindi pwede talagang walang boundaries. But before that, let me just acknowledge the coaches and the viewers who have joined us today. So, hello, Coach Cherry. Yes, hello, Coach Pichi. Thank you for joining. We also have Coach Saibel and Coach Candy. Yes, thank you for joining me today. And of course, my better half. And we also have Master Coach Hasmin and Coach Lynn. So thank you so much for tagging your friends. Hello, Coach Nilo. Thank you for joining me. So thank you for tagging your friends and inviting them to join us. So as I am saying earlier, we're going to be talking about boundaries. Kahit naman sa ang relasyon, may boundaries. Kahit sa office, may boundaries with your colleagues. Kahit sa families, may boundaries pa din tayo. Even if it's between a mom and a daughter, a father and a son, or your parents and your siblings, there is still a boundary. And having boundaries in a relationship is an important factor to one's well-being. It doesn't matter if it is in marriage. So, hindi porke nag-asawa ka na ay wala ng boundaries. There are actually a lot of misconception with boundaries. Sabi ko nga kanina, when you're already married, you think boundaries is no longer important kasi feeling mo, since asawa niya na ako, alam niya na dapat yung gusto ko at alam niya na kung paano siya kikilos at kung ano yung mga gagawin niya. However, it's not always the case in relationship. Remember, we are unique individuals come who lives together. So, meron tayong mga behaviors, meron tayong mga attitudes, habits na nakuha natin from our childhood that we brought along in the relationship. And at times, it might be a no-no to your partner or baka in the boundaries that your partner set, it's not okay for that specific behavior or boundary. That is why we need to be able to really talk about what is it with boundaries. So, and also boundaries are important for your self-care, both for yourself and for relationship. So, hindi lang siya para sa relasyon, para din sa sarili mo. So, what is really boundaries or what are boundaries? They say a boundary can be described how emotionally close you let people get to you. They are where you draw the line in the relationship. So in marriage, since you have that emotional closeness with your spouse, then you allow anything and everything in the relationship. However, there are still some boundaries that you need wherein you draw the line in the relationship. They also said that a boundary is a limit or space between you and the other person. A clear place where you begin and the other person ends. So nakita niyo yung distinction. Sa political science, we call it demarcation line, the boundary. So a boundary is a limit, a clear place where you begin and the other person ends. So ano ba yung mga boundaries na yon? And a boundary, especially personal ones, are designed to protect and honor part of our lives. They are created to clarify what are acceptable and unacceptable behaviors from others. So, nakikita niyo again, parang siyang meron siyang certain limitation in when it comes to your how you deal with other people. Boundaries are the measures of a healthy relationship which contributes to your relationship with your partner, with your children, family, and friends in either a positive or a negative way. So, when do relationship boundaries lead to increased levels of stress? Pwede ka bang may stress dahil na overstep yung boundary or alam mo ba talaga kung ano yung boundary ng relationship no? So, it is how, sabi nga nila, a boundary is, it is how much you are willing to give or take before requiring that things change or deciding to call it quits. So, ano siya, what is it that you are willing to give and take? And the purpose of setting a healthy boundary is to protect you. So it's really for more for your protection, for your self-care, and it is about protecting ourselves, just like how fences protect a personal or private property. So it's really more of a protection for ourselves. So as you see, what are healthy relationship boundaries? But before we answer what are those healthy relationship boundaries, let me first ask you several questions or self-reflective questions that you can use to check if your boundary in your relationship is overstepped. So first is, how much do you trust each other? Trust is a key component of healthy relationship. Your ability to trust others is influenced by your overall attachment style. If you remember, we have talked about attachment styles before in one of our episodes. I think it was in episode 5. So this is kung ano yung attachment level mo, at times this also allows you to see or you see what boundaries you have to. So kung masyado kang clingy, it's possible that you are overstepping the boundaries. Yung alam mo yung merong kasing mga relasyon na yung parang um, tama si Coach Cherry, trust issues. Pag may trust issues ka, masakit tong topic na to. Well, medyo. So, pag may trust issues ka, alam mo yung every time you always check kung asan na siya, pamaya-maya yung tawag. Kaya minsan nga may mga friends ako naalala ko, pag lalabas kami, lalo na pag lalaki, magpipicture na kasama yung team, tapos isisend sa wife kasi ang sabi nga ay kailangan niyang ma-check at maging sure na kasama, na totoo yung sinabi ko na kasama. So, wala siyang trust. So, ibig sabihin, baka naman kasi yan, kaya minsan nga ginajoke ko sila, masyado ka kasing babaero, kaya na-overstep yung boundaries mo when it comes to trust. But really, there are, kahit naman minsan hindi, there are really some people na hindi talaga kayang ma-overcome yung trust issues na yun. So, depende kung nung bata pa siya, if you remember in our episode, nung bata pa siya, lagi siyang naiiwan or yung self-worth niya ay hindi masyadong naitaas or hindi talaga siya napapansin sa family and it's like the person is always at fault. So, the worthiness is missing. So, at times na this reflects in the relationship na kung kailan malaki na or kung kailan nasa relasyon ka na, dun siya lumalabas na you become dependable on your partner and parang gusto mo andyan siya lagi na pag text mo, pag message mo, andyan siya lagi. So that's one. And then of course the next question is, how much do you respect each other? So mutual respect means not belittling or demeaning one another, and you offer support and security. So it might include listening to each other, being understanding and forgiving when one makes mistakes, or building each other up, etc. So medyo madami-dami itong mutual respect na ikaw ba yung tipong ikaw lang talaga yung dadaldal at yung partner mo ay ayaw mong pakinggan. Ikaw lang kasi yung may right magsalita. So, or ano ba yung respect sa relationship niyo? Ito ba yung you're able to calm down when even if you are mad, you calm down. Lalo na pag may ibang tao, napipigilan mo ba yung sarili mo to react negatively towards your partner? Or kahit madaming tao, you are able to really speak up negatively? Or ikaw ba yung tipong, ikakwento mo talaga sa mga friends mo, yung husband ko kasi ganito, ganyan, or yung wife ko kasi ganito, ganyan. So, yun. Respect is also about keeping, ano ba yan, parang keeping the image of your partner. So, huwag kang kwento ng kwento sa iba. Ano yun? Are you seeking sympathy? Kaya ba kinikwento mo? Di ba dapat if you have a problem with your spouse, yun, dalawa dapat yung nag-uusap at hindi mo kinikwento sa kanila na ganito kasi siya, kaya ganito din ako sa relasyon. Or masyado niya akong ginagawang alipin. May mga ganun. Alipin talaga, no? And then, of course, what support do you give each other when it comes to interest and effort? So it's more of really supporting each other all together. Dapat ba pag interest mo ba, dapat interested din siya? Kailangan niyang gawin? Kailangan kanyang samahan lagi? Or sa kanya, ganun din ba? Allowed ba siya to really be able to, kunwari, may sets of friends siya na interest nila mag-golf. Dati naalala ko, nag-golf si Coach Tin eh. So, inis na inis ako pag pag lumalabas siya at nag-golf. So, wala kasi tayong pera, wag ka mag-golf, joke lang. Ano lang siya, it's really more of, ano ba yung so, I mean, you have to qualify in this stage kasi baka naman yung friends niya ay ay some feeling mo they are not doing anything good to him. Meron kasing ganun eh, at dinaanan ko yun sa stage ng relationship namin na para bang ayoko talaga yung makasama niya kasi no na babae. May joke nga yan sa BPO, yung mga taga BPO dyan. If you are familiar, di ba pag workforce management, lapitin daw ng mga babae. So, merong ganun. So, ayoko yung, dumating ako sa point na ganun. Nawala din yung trust and yun, parang I don't support the interest that my husband has. So, hello Coach Marifet, thank you. Ayan na naman, lumabas na yung tindahan ni Aling Celia. Ilista na natin kung ano mga dapat pag-usapan at balikan natin. So there. And of course, another question would be how honest and open are you with each other? It means that do you have the capability to self-disclosure? What does self-disclosure means? Self-disclosure refers to what you are willing to share about yourself with the other person. Siyempre, di ba, pag asawa mo, you are in the expectation that everything should be shared with you. Na parang wala nang privacy, wala nang space na mag-keep ng secret. But come to think of it, there would be some instances na hindi mo naman talaga lahat sasabihin sa husband mo or sa wife mo. Like, when I was still in the corporate, kunwari may mga kwentuhan kami ng office mates ko na amin lang, hindi ko lang pwedeng sabihin lahat sa kanya because being part of HR, I am bound with something, with a secrecy or with a bond of confidentiality. So alam mo yun, hindi ko siya pwedeng sabihin. So paano talaga kung yung husband mo demands na dapat lahat alam niya pati sa office, 'di ba? It's like hindi, so 'di ba ang hirap noon? So this doesn't mean na pag hindi ka nag-self-disclose, it doesn't mean na you are not willing to share. There might really be some instances. Remember, each individual needs privacy and space. What matters most is whether each partner feels comfortable sharing their hopes, fears, and feelings if they choose. Um, Wala, magulo sila dito ah. Wait lang. Wala ako sa usapan nila. But, and then of course, ask yourself, what can make you maintain your individual identity? Ikaw pa ba yan? I remember I am fighting for married women who are losing themselves in the relationship. Ano ba yung itsura ng losing yourself in the relationship? Ito yung tipong at times you get burnt out, you get stressed out, feeling mo ito na lang ba talaga yung relasyon? I support my husband, I help my kids, I provide, ako yung nag-aasikaso sa bahay and all. Parang may mga ganong moments. It may be because yung, dito kasi babalik yung self-care. So, pag gusto niyo ng self-care, watch Coach Candice episode. It's all about self-love, 101. That's every Friday at 4 p.m. So, that could really help you out with how you are really taking care of yourself. Kasi ikaw muna before you are able to um, love and support others. Ang self-care kasi hindi ibig sabihin pag single ka lang magsi-self-care. Kahit may asawa ka na, dapat you still have that self-care for yourself. Kasi paano mo nga ibibigay yung overflow ng love and affection to your husband and to your kids. So that's one of the reason. Maintaining individual identity is keeping still yourself, kung ano yung mga gusto mo, ano yung mga dating ginagawa mo, na hindi detrimental sa relationship, hindi detrimental sa husband mo. Meron naman kasi talagang self-care, like mga self-care routines mo. So, individual identity, you really love, let's say reading, hindi naman pwedeng i-give up mo kasi mas gusto ng husband mo yung nanonood ng movie, mga action, di ba? So, ayaw mo na din, so dapat wala, hindi ka na din nagbabasa kasi mas gusto ng husband mo yun. So, hindi yun. It's really more of keeping what those things that makes you grow, that makes you who you are. Because that is actually what um what made your husband like you in the first place. And then, of course, how do you openly talk about each other's feelings, hopes, and dreams? So it's more of the affection. Affection marks the relationship. Sabi nga, affection declines in time based on research. If I remember in one of our coaching workshop about relationship. Sabi nga ni Master Coach, parang 3 years lang, tapos magdi-decline nga. So it's up to you on how to keep the relationship growing. This does not mean that the need for affection, comfort, and tenderness lessens. Passionate love starts as an intense emotion with physical closeness, but in time, it can change into compassionate love, which marks the feelings of affection, trust, intimacy, and commitment. So, ito yung mga questions that you need to ask yourself. Tom Cruise talaga, you complete me. Ito nga yung myth, di ba? Sabi nila, you cannot be completed by someone else. So, ibig sabihin, nung pumasok ka sa relasyon, kalahati ka lang. Di nga, di ba? Sabi natin, give yourself 50-50 in the relationship para 100. No, you have to give 100% both for you to be able to be whole together. So, dapat 100 plus 100, it's 200%. Hindi pwedeng 50-50 lang. And how do you express fondness and affection? And how much equality and fairness do you have in the relationship? Those are some of the questions that you need to ask yourself to be able to check whether you are having a healthy relationship boundaries. And part of it includes good communication, which means having the ability to communicate well with each other. It includes knowing how to argue and resolve differences of opinion effectively. So in a healthy relationship boundaries, one of the characteristics is that you also have to have the give and take. It's about natural reciprocity. Ano ba yung natural reciprocity, or what does reciprocity means? It means the process of exchanging things with other people in order to gain a mutual benefit. It is not about keeping score or feeling that you owe the other person. Yung natural sa'yo, intentionally, you're genuinely happy to give. So it means you do things for one another because you genuinely want to. And at times, remember, it's not always, there is sometimes an imbalance in the relationship wherein at times one partner may need more help and support. And in other cases, um, one partner may simply prefer to make more of a caregiver role. So, baka naman kasi yung isa lang talaga yung, minsan talaga kasi sa relasyon, meron yung isa na mas madaming needs, kaya kailangang tulungan, and the other is happy to give or to provide that support. And such imbalance are fine as long as each person is okay with the dynamic of both partners are getting the support that they need. So it depends on the two of you on how you look at it. So yeah, it all boils down to respecting your partners. So once that you're able to answer these questions, you can take a picture so that you can assess where you are when it comes to your healthy relationship boundaries. It's now time to talk about the key areas. What key areas do you need to protect your boundaries? Um, Having healthy boundaries means knowing and understanding what your limits are. And setting them means taking the courage, practice, and support needed to master this skill. Setting a boundary though, it's really about the skill. It's also a skill kasi 'di ba in our culture, ang Pinoy mahilig mag-yes. So even in relationship, yes lang tayo ng yes kahit minsan ayaw naman talaga natin. So what about in marriage? Eh di syempre asawa mo na, di malamang yes ka din ng yes kahit minsan ayaw mo. Um, it's actually a journey. Before I would always have those moments na kahit ayoko, I have to say yes to whatever Coach Sean would demand in the relationship. Kasi feeling ko, it's how you can keep the relationship sane and how you can keep the relationship, yung walang away. But it's really not about it. You also have to express. Sabi nga nila, gusto din naman ng lalaki minsan na marunong kang lumaban, hindi yung yes ka lang ng yes. So tip doon sa mga ano ha, sa mga singles at mag-aasawa pa lang kayo or nandun na kayo sa relationship at bago pa lang kayo, yung oo nga, Coach Marifer, parang na-dominate tayo ng single, lahat married ang lahat single lang nandito sa chat box eh. Pero yun. So, kaya tip ko sa mga single, um, yun, keep yourself, know your boundaries. Wag lang yes ng yes in the relationship. Because at times you will really feel burnout or stress pag yes ka ng. Kasi what you do is you satisfy the every whims and caprices of your partner. Yung yes ka lang ng yes sa lahat ng gusto niya. Na at times, nakakalimutan mo na yung sarili mo. And yes, from for previous readings that I did, talagang there is really an instance na gusto din daw talaga ng lalaki na somehow marunong lumaban ang babae na may voice. Kasi nga support siya eh. Hindi pwedeng lahat lang yes or lahat lang go lang kasi nga ibig sa you are the support of pag pumasok ka na sa marriage, ikaw ang supporter ng husband mo. So, paano kung mali yung decision? Or paano kung your husband is also seeking for clarity, verification sa mga decisions niya, tapos yes ka lang ng yes, wala kang voice to say it, look at what would happen in the relationship. So may ganun pong factor in the relationship. So what key areas do you need to protect your boundaries? If you're interested to get this toolkit, message me and let's talk about it. You can drop by at DCAP anytime. Na-realize daw ni Coach Sean, siya lang daw ala. Eh, syempre, you have to support me, I'm your wife. Yun, sabay ganun. Peace lang. So, yun po siya. It doesn't really matter kung you're married or not. Kailangan mo lang talaga na you also have to know the boundaries and you need to protect it even if you are already married to your partner. So, it's about knowing your boundaries. So, one of those boundaries that you need to take care of is your time. Time is an important and valuable asset. So, does your partner demand your time in unreasonable ways? So, ano ba, yung partner mo ba masyadong demanding. Merong mga ganitong relationship na demanding, di ba? Parang lahat kailangan mong you have to say yes always. Um, and sabi nga ni Coach Marife, agree, minsan na-confuse ka sa pinaglalaban. No, sometimes, yes. Minsan ako-confuse ka, ano ba talaga? Tama si Coach Candy, ikaw lang daw kasi Coach Sean ang lalaking nag-i-express. Wala pa sila, kaya kailangan mo din silang tulungan to be able to express themselves out. So, with time, it's important that you are able to create a clearly defined schedule. So, it can refer to the beginning and ending of a block of time set aside for a particular activity, the difference between your needs and another's needs, or the bounds between work and play, activity and rest, and inner and outer focused energy. So, importante yung time boundary sa relationship nyo. Di ba parehas naman? For example, parehas kayong nag-work. Alam nga naman you divide each other's time. So, paano yung work nyo? So, meron talagang set time para sa work and merong set time para sa friendships. This is a common issue actually of couples, especially yung sa mga starting pa lang at hindi masyadong open yung communication. Open communication means that you're really able to express na kahit negative feedback, you're able to express it and you're able to accept it. So that's what open communication means. Sa case namin ni Coach Sean, dumaan din kami sa stage na time boundary was an issue for me. Ito kasi, si Coach Sean kasi dati, nung hindi pa siya coach, sisiraan ko na naman. Hindi. Example lang to. Hindi ko alam kung magagalit na sa akin yung asawa ko. Lagi ko daw siya example sa mga talks ko eh. Pero yun kasi yun eh. Yun yung journey naming dalawa before we went into life coaching. Yung may moments na um, lagi kaming nag-aaway when it comes to time. Kasi diba, he works in the office Monday to Friday and at times late na siya umuwi. Tapos Saturday, lalabas pa. Parang hindi namin siya pinag-usapan. Parang I don't wanna let him go out because I want him to spend some time with the family. No, there was no more distinction with the time boundary. Hello, Master Coach Kendra. Thank you for joining. So it's really more of allowing yourself to see the time or to set a specific time so that your partner will not complain about you losing time with each other. And then making making clear yes or no decisions. In making clear or yes or no decisions, it just means I said earlier that people always say yes to the people around us, to the people we care about. That and even during childhood, if you remember, we are not allowed to say no. Saying yes means you get a reward. Saying no means a punishment. So even at this time, we are able to bring it to the relationship wherein we always expect our partner to say yes and a no is a no. Kumbaga, a no answer is a no. Hindi pwede yon. So, but if you know your schedule, if you know your time, you know the what of your goals and the why of saying no, or the why of your goals, then saying no becomes easier. So it's really more of knowing the distinction of when you will be able to say yes and when you will be able to say no. And then managing expectations, yours and everybody else. So when it comes to time, especially when we are in a relationship, we have a tendency to promise the moon, lalo na pagbago pa lang. So, however, setting the stage will cause a problem in the long run. So, do not set those expectations. Set only the expectation of time when you're able to absolutely deliver it. Baka naman you promise na dapat 24 hours naka-yes ka sa partner mo. So that you have to also be mindful of what it is that you are saying yes. So it doesn't really mean that when you don't say yes to your partner, you don't love your partner. So the next boundary that you have to take care of is your emotions. So emotions are where your love and caring comes from. Often people in our lives may say or do hurtful things, often unintentional, but still it hurts, which can damage our emotions and our heart. So, how did you feel when someone made hurtful remarks or your partner makes the hurtful remark? So, what you can do is speak up if you feel uncomfortable with how your partner treats you or his needs are infringed on you. So, if it's something that it is already hurting, you must be able to speak it out to your partner. Huwag mong itago. Minsan kasi tinatago natin kasi iniisip natin, sige, kaya ko pa. Patience. Patience. Pero pag napuno ka na, mas mahirap ng ayusin. At times, it's really hard to work out on the relationship because you are unable to saka nagiging tolerations mo siya kasi hindi ka nga nagsasalita. So you also have to speak it out. And then drop the guilt and responsibility for others. Do you also feel na you come into a space na at times you feel guilty and responsible for the people around you, especially in your relationship? Do you feel guilty pag hindi mo ba na pagbibigyan ang partner mo? Kasi feeling mo responsibility mo yon, but you are allowed to say no, especially if you don't feel like it. Um, So, for the married people out there, it also includes yung mga sexual responsibility mo. There are times na ayaw mo, but are you doing it just because you need to satisfy or to say yes to your partner and you feel guilty if you don't say no? Minsan nagiging issue din siya, but you really have to be able to come into a space where you're able to talk about it and understand kung bakit minsan no ang response. It's not really wrong to say no. You just have to understand kung paano at paano mo ba siya sasabihin. And then, honor what is important to you by choosing yourself first. It's important really that you honor the emotions that you're feeling. If you feel sad, then express it. Do not feel na ah, hindi pwede kasi 'di ba may mga I don't know, I encountered people na hindi siya pwedeng magdrama kasi nagagalit yung asawa niya. Eh paano kung yun yung emotions mo at that time, hindi ba pwedeng malungkot ka? You are also human, so you have to be able to express the emotions that you have. And another boundary that you have to take care of is your energy. Your energy is the wellspring from which you function. So, syempre, ikaw to energy. The energy that comes from you may come from other sources like your alone time, your inner peace, or anything that invigorates you. So when people do or say things that rob you of your energy, you are less likely to function effectively. So, yung partner mo ba is an emotional vampire? Na minsan nawawala yung energy mo pag kausap mo. 'Di ba may mga taong ganun? So, think of, be aware of your patterns. How you behave in certain situations becomes a habit. So it's like being in an environment where people around you are complaining about everything and you give power to that person which stresses you. So, syempre, alam mo na yung mga patterns mo. Galit, alam mo pag naiinis ka or natitrigger kapag masyadong makomplain yung merong ganong relationship na yung isang partner ang daming complaint, wala nang nakitang maganda. Paano kung ganun yung partner mo? How can you be able to help or support your partner get out of that particular behavior? And let go of self-judgment. Hello, Coach Rhea. Thank you for joining. So, let go of self-judgment means be your own cheerleader and embrace yourself for who you are and how far you've become. Don't hide from your true self. Do not judge yourself just because your partner said something that hurt you emotionally and rob you of your energy. You allow that person to get to you. Maybe you can think of what if you think about the feedback and then do something about it. But are you in a stage wherein do you always please your husband that at times it robs you of your energy? And let go of your attachment to outcomes. So, are you going with the flow or you hold on to outcomes or expectations? It robs you of your energy when the outcome is not okay. So think about how you are wasting your energy when you let others overstep your boundaries. And of course, personal values are other important areas. This is anything in your life that is important to you. So know your limits. Be able to know your limits, to know when to say yes and when to say no. Be assertive. Of course, you have to speak it out. And if all fails, delete and ignore. So what does it mean? Creating boundaries comes from knowing your self worth, your intellectual worth, which is being entitled to your own thoughts and opinions, your emotional worth, being entitled to your own feelings to a given situation, your physical worth, which is being entitled to your space, and social worth, which is being entitled to your own friends, and of pursuing your own social activities, and of course, your spiritual worth, which is being entitled to your own spiritual belief. So, define what are your intellectual, emotional, physical, spiritual boundaries by checking out your past experiences where you feel discomfort, anger, resentment, or frustration so you know when your limits were crossed. Para malaman mo lang kung saan ka ba natitrigger at kailan nawawala yung parang when is the boundary overstep or so this will be your benchmark to assess when someone overstep your boundaries. And of course, when you become assertive, you become direct. You start and you can start small by managing and building up your assertiveness. And if all fails, delete and ignore, voice your boundaries, then follow with action. Remember, you don't owe anyone anything, so boundaries must be respected. Remind yourself of your own worth, and no one has the right to make you feel uncomfortable. So you have to qualify kung yung boundary mo ba ay na-overstep ng partner mo. So, what you allow is what will continue. So, what's the benefit of setting your boundaries? You become more compassionate. People with strong boundaries are more compassionate because you let people know what's okay and what's not okay. So which is kind of respectful. You have greater assertiveness. It makes you get a way of asserting your needs. So in order to set boundaries, you need to pay attention to how you're feeling and tune in into what you need so you can talk assertively and ask others to treat you in the ways that meet your needs. And when your needs are met, we all have emotional and physical needs. And we all deserve to have our needs met. So that means when you speak up and ask for what you need, that is what more likely you get. Hindi kasi yung tameme ka lang, lagi ka lang yes, yes, kahit hindi na. So, yes, Coach Sherry, dito pumapasok yung tolerations. And less anger and resentment. When you know your boundaries, you get less angry and you don't resent because you don't let other people walk all over. Even your partner, you don't let your partner walk over you. Dito nag-uumpisa ang mga abusive relationship when you let your partner when you become self-critical and angry with yourself because you're passive, that whatever your partner tells you, you can't say no, you can't assert your right. Sabi ko nga kanina, you also have to be mindful of yourself, your worth. Kasi nung una naman talagang naging kayo, nakita niya yung value mo eh. But when you allow that person to overstep and you lost your value, doon nag-uumpisa yung abuse. Feeling of peace and safety because when you have your boundaries it will free you from emotional abuse, verbal attacks and manipulation. Your boundaries provides emotional freedom from needless energy spent beating yourself up and second guessing yourself. Kailangan mo talaga to express it out so that there is no abuse in the relationship. And finally, the time and energy to do things that nourish and bring joy to your body, mind, and spirit. When you say no to things you don't want to do and people who drag you down, you say yes to spending time with people who fill you up emotionally. So hello Jasper, thank you for joining. Kamusta? So it gives you enough time and energy to do things that nourish you when you are able to hold on to your boundary. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'd like to invite you to join us in our business boot camp. That's gonna be startup business boot camp on January 6 to 28, 6 to 8 p.m. Connect with me if you're interested. There is a link that you can register to. So that's gonna be the investment fee is 1499, and if you register early, that's only 999. So check it out. And of course, we are still having the money coaching workshop for financial confidence by Master Coach A. We are now done with monetize and optimize. Next topic will be neutralize, and you are still invited to join us on Wednesday. So connect with me or any of the community managers of any of the coaches that you see on the chat box. They will be able to help you register for the money coaching workshop by Master Coach A. And of course, if you're someone who is having difficulty expressing yourself, you always care about what other people will say, and you are unable to live a life where you can gain control of yourself and your relationship, then I offer you the Careless Coaching Bundle. I can work with you, journey with you to be able to get to a space where you're able to define your own values, passions, or needs to create the life you want for yourself and for your family. So just message me. Let's have a discovery session. You can connect with me or visit the Coffee Republic. We also have coaches every day there. We also have the people serving you at DCAP are all certified life coaches. And inviting you also, if you are, remember, as we often say, there are 80,000 people possibly waiting for us to serve. So the demand is high, the supply is low. So join us as we open the Master Builder Apprenticeship Program by Master Coach A, and together let's build a tribe. So if you are interested, connect with me, and I can so that we can support each other to build the tribe where we thrive. So thank you so much for joining me today. And as we end today's episode, let me invite you to visit our coaching hub, Decap Coffee Republic, located at Pioneer Center compound along Pioneer Road, corner Brixton and United Streets, Capitolio, Pasig City, just across Bayanihan Center. Our coaching hub is open physically from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., but virtual operations is 24/7, and we still offer coaching services on demand any time of the day and any day of the week. So please connect with Coach Rizal through 0917-586-1661 for your coaching needs. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you next week, same day, same time, and love bam boom, love bam boom, love bam boom. Bye-bye.